Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prastayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prastayate.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gopaka Vrindam.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Krishna Chaitanya,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhupada Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhupada
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna
Haribol, Namaste. So let's continue our study program so we can have clarity of what we're doing and how can we be so focused and decisive, because the problem that we always face is this decision making and are really decisive. And what strengthens that focus, that commitment, that surrender, it is understanding clearly the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So I'll read again a prayer of Lord Chaitanya, but before we start, I'd like to discuss something about at the time that Lord Krishna is discussing with Arjuna about the nature of this material body. It is also about his decision and the surrender of Arjuna. So Lord Krishna describes that the living entity us, we're covered by this material body made out of material energy. To be very direct, it's made out of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And the living entity is us. We are inside this body. And the Lord directs us and how we are connected with the Supreme Lord in relationship, in surrender. How much we are contaminated by the desire, this false ego, to dominate matter. How much we are influenced by the three modes of material nature. That will determine our focus, our decisiveness in pursuing the goal, which is loving service to the Supreme Person, love for God. Sometimes we are not able to appreciate that good karma and bad karma. Most openly, bad karma comes to us, and we feel in our heart when we are oppressed, when another living entity tries to dominate us, exploit this body, put us in harm, makes us suffer. We feel we are wrong. We don't deserve it. We feel we're wrong. It's unfair. How can this happen to me? It's unfair. How come I'm in this miserable condition? So it's a grudge or a feeling of discontentment and blaming someone else. And in this case, it is God. We're blaming God. Why is that? Because we lack understanding. We lack wisdom. So I'll read to you here the consciousness of how we can become free, to stop all of this, to become free from this misgiving, from this anxiety, so we can not be blaming God. We cannot be having this animosity and a relationship of, it's unfair. You don't love me. You didn't care for me. So let's read this. One can chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street, more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. Since time immemorial, we've been here in this material world, undergoing transmigration into different bodies. We've been engaging in so many activities under the influence of the three modes of material nature. So I'll make it very clear. For example, a person who is contaminated by this false bodily identification, he tries to pursue or try to direct the search, the achievement to get happiness through the senses. But in the truest sense, because we are not the senses, we are not this body, the avenue which we try to tread or the venue for enjoyment, it's not actually us. It's material nature, and we're trying to squeeze this flickering enjoyment through matter. And also, other living entities. We try to, in a way, consume, eat, suck this body. But we are not the body. It's only the body that is trying to, we are using this vehicle to squeeze, to suck. But because we're not the body, we are always miserable. And what is happening is we are under the influence of the three modes of material nature. So there, as you sow, you shall reap in Christian teaching. There's the law of karma. So this body has become the field of activities. And we are here inside this body as a vehicle, and we're trying to manipulate matter. But there is a certain reaction according to the three modes of material nature. Karma. So when we experience suffering, pain, being oppressed, because we identify with this material body, we feel, I am deserving. I should not experience pain and being oppressed or being exploited. But have we ever considered, since time immemorial, we've been here in this machine, transmigrating from one body to another and engaging in so many sinful activities that has a reaction, a corresponding reaction, because the body is like a tree, and we are like the bird inside this body, in this tree, and we're trying to taste the fruits. Because the mind that has the desire in the mind, because of this we have this body, we try to pursue the desire in the mind and try to experience happiness, fulfillment, according to the influence of the three modes of material nature. The person who is in ignorance, he tries to sleep and sleep and sleep. Then when he wakes up, he's very empty. He wants activities. He becomes now under the influence of passion. He becomes very lusty, and he looks around, what will satisfy me? So the more one is engrossed, the more one is engaged in activities under the influence of material nature, the three modes, then we should be aware that for so long we're engaging in so many activities that has karmic reaction. That's why when we experience being oppressed or put in a situation having this disease, or in a way, something that has been, we try to accumulate, stolen from us. Or in a way, we are exploited. Even a person who's trying to, for example, a rapist, he tries to consume that person, express his anger through the genitals. But what happened is, he is the person, the driver in the body, he's just experiencing the flickering enjoyment and trying to express his anger, his wants through the senses, never satisfied. And there's a corresponding reaction because you begin to use this body, this field of activity, to try to consume someone, and that person is not even, you cannot even see that person because that person is also the driver in that vehicle. It's only the material energy trying to, wrap up one another. And you think, because of false bodily identification, think, I am experiencing. You should be the witness, the person in this body, the driver. And that can be achieved through this wisdom, through the process of taking shelter of the wisdom coming from God Himself. So, it is also Maya or illusion trying to take us away from the focus we are trying to direct our lives. To be remembering God in a relationship of servitude, in an amiable surrender, because now we want to get back. I'm entitled, that this person should suffer. There's nothing wrong if a person commits crime. He should be put in jail. But we should not be feeling in our lives that, oh, I'm so pure, it's unfair, it's not due to me, And then what does it point to? We're blaming somebody. And that is the Supreme Person. But the problem is, we try to play dominator, surrogate God. And the problem is that we are not all powerful. We're not the controllers. So the reaction befalls upon us, the karmic reaction. As you sow, so you shall reap. So when a person comes to this understanding, I am in this material body, covered by these material elements, like a bird in a tree, and the Supreme Lord, the Holy Spirit, Paramahamsa, is just there besides me. This material body is undergoing transformation, meaning it changes. I was once in a baby body, in my mom's womb, in this teeny-weeny, body. Then I come out inside the body of a child. From the child, I pass on to different bodies. But I cannot see much because I cannot really understand, because it's spontaneous. It's not like you see your body, it grows. You pass from one body to another. That is the main reason we must become free from this illusion. We have become so mesmerized and focused because of our meditation. What is our meditation? Me, I, me, mine. The selfishness and thinking I'm in control. And how about our eternal relationship with God? How can it be revealed? So we can enter a world of purity in relationship with God. We can understand our true transcendental nature. We can understand our eternal activities. That yes, it's very fulfilling. So first, this third prayer of Lord Chaitanya, we must understand it. It should be the meditation, the prayer we do every day, aside from chanting the holy names. It should be the guide. One can chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street, more tolerant than the tree, and devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. What happens to a person who is so much engrossed under the influence of passion? Why does a person rape? Because he lost his intelligence. He's not seeing the person anymore. He's driven by the horse, his genitals, and he's trying to find release through the genitals. The more you're in anger, the more you're an empty person. The more you're lonely. Because that release is like, you know this straight jacket? You're in a straight jacket, like those crazy people, because they cannot control their senses. They go wild, they put them inside this straight jacket. Like my friend, I have a friend who was put in straight jacket for a month. He's going crazy. He's crazy already, but now it became worse. So when he goes out, so it's like that. So when a person who is so much focused upon false bodily identification and trying to find fulfillment through the senses, lust has become the driving force. And it takes away his intelligence. He becomes frustrated and angry, First, it begins with sense perception. Then he tries to contemplate. And in false bodily identification, he tries to consume or try to find happiness through the senses. In different ways. We play games, driven by material nature. The three modes of material nature. And Maya, illusion, plays upon us. That's why humbleness, which is feeling not entitled, helps one to meditate upon his situation, that he did engage in so many sinful activities and trying hard to pursue a goal that is perverted. What is perversion? Trying to play Lord. That's why we're in this perverted world, thinking we're the body. And how can we become free? By listening from the initiating spiritual master, who is the pure loving servant of God. Hearing, listening and hearing and following his instruction. And we should have this prayer of Lord Chaitanya. To be situated under the lotus feet of Lord Krishna's love and care, we must be sheltered by the lotus feet of his pure loving servant. And he gives us a process. God himself, the supreme purifier, the source of joy, Lord Krishna, and he instructs us to chant the holy names. So the lotus feet of Lord Krishna is none other than the lotus feet of our spiritual master, who guides us, who connects us with that world that is not touched by the three modes of material nature. It's the world that is transcendental. So the more we chant, the more we become purified. And the more we see that anything that takes away our mind, our heart, our whole being from this filial, amiable sweetness of rendering loving service to the Supreme Person, we should discard it. And how? Not by our own power, by the prayer of Lord Chaitanya. Because this prayer is our protection. One should chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street, more tolerant than the tree, to be more tolerant than the tree, and devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. So when one becomes purified from this misgiving of material consideration, one begins to see how one had fallen from this world of love. That the disconnection is based upon our desire to be in a world of dominion. So we should put ourselves under the shelter, the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, none other than the lotus feet of our spiritual master. He gives us this protection. And it is based upon chanting the holy names and humbleness. Why do we get angry? For example, somebody stole something from you. You feel, gonna curse him. And what happens? Somebody oppress you. Instead of focusing upon our relationship with the Supreme Person, and in this second prayer, we make a crusade in anger, to also let that person experience what is due to him because of what he did to us. Well, I'm not saying that if somebody kills someone, goes against the law, and rapes someone, he should not be put in jail. What I'm saying is that we must become a yogi, a transcendentalist, who is the person inside this body watching. And what distracts us, takes the mind away, our whole being is maya or illusion. And that is lust. We want to get back, to trample that person. We're not feeling aloof because we are so much engrossed. And not only that, we want to experience and have this feeling of getting back. That's our meditation for so long. We have become contaminated by material activities. Become free. And Lord Krishna tells us, to those who are constantly devoted unto me, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. Love me, surrender unto me, and I'll protect you. We should enter that world, but we should curb the mind by redirecting it upon that world, the will of the Supreme Person. We should be able to appreciate that every living entity is a child of God. We begin to, when we read scripture, it's not just trying to be better than anyone, that you can read back to back all the scripture and you can just give verses whenever you talk. It's not like that. It's entering a world of Lord Krishna. And that world is the world of love, transcendental to this material nature. Just like when Lord Krishna, when our spiritual master gives us the teachings of Sri Sopanishad. Everything animate or inanimate that is within this universe is owned and controlled by God. Knowing well to whom they belong, one should only take the quota that is allotted to him. It is a science. Then we begin to appreciate, I'm not the owner. Someone owns everything. I don't own my wife. I don't own my son. But because of material consideration, this false ego, we think, I own. I'm entitled. We must become free from this. And that meditation is achieved when we follow the simple process of chanting the holy names and humbleness, feeling lower than the straw in the street. We can see ourselves, I am sinful, I am not qualified. I am not entitled to anything. For so long, I have turned my back away from Lord Krishna. I have become a thief. I've exploited his children, my brothers and sisters, not because I've been covered, subjugated by the three modes of material nature. Because I've decided to enjoy the fruit of the tree and follow the desire. So when one feels in his heart that he's not qualified, he feels in his heart he have done something that has separated him or us from this love, from this sweetness, the gentleness of Krishna, then we feel we can fall down and ask forgiveness. We can feel in our heart, please, my Lord, I'm not qualified. I'm a sinful person. Please protect me. My spiritual master, your confidential loving friend, he tells me, I can come back to you. I can pray. Please protect me. For so long, my face, I'm not looking at you. I'm pursuing a goal. And that goal is completely a separation from that love because I am not able to appreciate your loving care, your gentleness. I become harsh. I become vindictive. I've lost my intelligence. But I'm begging you, please let me take shelter of your lotus feet and protect me and guide me that I will not be deviated from the simple instruction my spiritual master is giving me, your confidential friend. So in the long run, I can be pleasing to you, that my love for you have grown so strong. Please let me enter that world. To be able to appreciate your love. To be directed by you. Just like in the world of Vaikuntha, where everybody, every devotee is being directed by you, motivated by pure loving devotional service. It's like my situation is like a dwarf trying to reach the moon, jumping. But I humbly beg that please, no matter what, please guide me. Please let me be part of the world of your pastimes, of the pastimes of my dear spiritual master, of Lord Chaitanya and Nitai Gaur. No matter where no matter what, please allow me to be engaged in your loving service. Haribol Namaste.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa, Radha Krishna Prasthayate. Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa, Radha Krishna Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Rayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Rayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Rayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gopala Govinda, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine. Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prastayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine. Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prastayate.
Ayo, namaste. Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasade.